Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. Working on my broken truck over here with patch panels. So what I have is this front rocker area in here is rotted out, and I already got one of them in there. I am not an expert at this. I looked for a patch panel to replace that. I can't find it. I can find them for the rear, I can find the rockers. I can't find that patch panel. So let's just kind of go over, well, if you're trying to learn from me, it's the blind leading to blind, but this is kind of rotted and everything, and I tried to cut out all the rot that I could, but it's too thin for my welder that I have right there, and my ability with the welder that I have right there. So I ended up just putting a couple rivets in there, and I drilled a hole and did a plug weld, and I did good with that. Now the metal I'm using is 18 gauge. I'm good enough with my welder, I can do stuff with it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to clean this up real good, and then I'll probably go ahead and do the some sort of seam sealer or something like that on there, right? Now, our little inner piece that we have in here, it was rotted all the way out around there. Let's go see what it's somewhat supposed to look like on this side, and then you'll kind of see what I'm trying to somewhat replicate. So this side's pretty good, so I had something to base off of. When we were coming around underneath there, you see how it's got the mount for the fender, and then it's supposed to come up through there. Now, this is where we're rotted out on both sides, but at least I had something kind of to go off of there. This one's not as bad. So that's what we're trying to replicate somewhat over here. And you'll get to see my not quite so good replication of it. Sort of, kind of, but not really. All right. We're gonna, hold on one second, let me get you set up. Stop farting with that and just get underneath here, right? All right. On light. All right, so that's what I've done there. I just took a piece and I've curved it, and we'll go over there. I'll show you how I got this curve in here and how I made this cut right here. Now, I've kind of tacked that on. I figured out I can do a tack, 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 instead of just trying to weld a bead. That's how I got to do it. That's up there pretty tight. I like that. I have a little extension piece I'm going to put on here with a flange, just almost a 90, and then it's going to come to there. So I just need to put that up there, mark it, cut it, and then I can weld that on there as well. And that'll kind of fill that area. Now, I got a gap there. I'm not going to worry about that one. I got a big gap up there too. I might somewhat worry about that one. So this isn't on there. That's just kind of the fit that I have. It fits pretty tight, so I like that. So, you know, you see why I'm doing a patch panel. I wanted to buy one, but couldn't find one. There's the other half over here that I'll have to deal with once I get the rocker panel and see how much rocker panel I get. But that's another story. Here's the back side of this piece here. I just did some rivets to hold it in. I know I'm going to come in and definitely do the brush on seam sealer. I have the Eastwood rust encapsulator that I'll come through and kind of get all the rough stuff off, clean this, and I'll coat this whole inside on there real good with that. Probably coat both sides and then go over with a kitty hair body filler to fill the actual holes and everything that's left over on that, right? And kind of fill these gaps, and that'll bond that in real good. I'm not going to try to weld this just because getting up in there trying to weld to that, it's not going to work out very good. All right, I did have a little bit of lip over right there. I got my pencil mark. I'm going to cut that out, and see, I kind of was squared off right here, so I went in and fixed that. That's what that is. Once I get that done, I'm going to put that little piece on there and weld it together. So let me show you how I got that bend. All right, super high tech right here. I took some old exhaust pipe, and I started my one radius right there. And what I actually did, I put the pipe in the vise, and then I held that on there and just kind of beat it into place. And then as I needed more extension, I put this in the vise the way it is, and then just put this, you know, I kind of clamped it together, right? And then took the hammer and kind of moseyed it around there. And then on this last one, it had a different radius, so I used just a little bit smaller pipe and finished that radius out right there, because it's a different radius in there. that's it. That's how I did it. And I didn't even use anything special. I just grabbed the nearest hammer I had around, which is a ball peen, and that's plenty for this 18 gauge. No need to go all gorilla on it, right? So this little notch here, here's what I found. I got this Vever nibbler for doing sheet metal for roofing and siding. It cuts this stuff very well. I mean, it's like better than a jigsaw, right, for wood. And I can just cut however I want to cut on that thing. So that was way better than trying to use an angle grinder to cut it out, and it's getting hot and it takes forever and all that. This thing just beep, zips it out, done. And these are the little nibbles that it spits out everywhere. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, so got a little bit of work to do on this. Whenever I get it fitted up, I'll probably go ahead and clean real good, get me some rivet holes in there. I have seam sealer that I could use to bond it on with. I may actually get the seam sealer out and do some rivet holes in there, put seam sealer on it and like bond it in with the seam sealer, then come over with a rust encapsulator and then do a final coat with the kitty hair. And kitty hair, I'll show you what I mean. It's a generic term for fiberglass body filler. Remains flexible, good and stout right there. So there actually, I think, is a kitty hair brand, but it doesn't matter the brand, it's the same thing, right? So that's how I'm going to get that on there and sealed up better than what it was. Whenever I get everything completely done, I'm going to use my, well, I'm about used up on this. That right there, because you can totally tell what that is. This is the almost empty can of Rust-Oleum Reform and Seal. That's the reformer. This is the rubberized Reform and Seal. So I'll snake that in there with, actually what I'm using is the Eastwood's one. The little, it's got the 4 little holes in it, the cavity coater or whatever thing that Eastwood has, internal frame coating. I'm just using that, adapted it to that can, and I'll just spray that in there real good when I'm done. Okay, got the plate looking good, got that welded on. I'm doing better welding this. I'm figuring out how to weld it so we're not looking nasty there. We're looking shadowy, you know, there. So much better than the previous one. Now the hole is where the fender nut goes, and what I'm going to use is a weld nut. I've seen these at various jobs that I've worked, and I've never used it. See how it's got a little lip in there? So that fits. Well, it did fit in there until I tried to do it one-handed with the camera on. But it fits in there, you know, with 2 hands and the camera turned off quite well. And what I'll do is, it's been a dingus. I think that's the definition of dingus right there. But anyways, it fits in there, and then I can come in here, and since that's thicker, I'll start to weld there and bring it down, and that gives a whole lot more surface than just using the, you know, a nut like what the factory did right there. I don't have any handy. Okay, oversized, but if you just did a nut, you kind of get a little bit of a weld, you know, just a couple of them on there. So that's a much better way of doing this right here. So that's why I'm going to use it. I got my rivets marked in there, rivets drilled in there, the body side. I think what I'm going to do is, since it's rusty in there, I'm not going to use seam sealer. I'm going to use the Eastwood rust encapsulator. Paint that on there real good, brush it on real good, that whole area that I'm working on. Then I'll take my patch panel, put it up in there and rivet it and clamp it on, and that should get me a good sealed bond in there. If it's all clean metal, then I'd probably use seam sealer, but I want to do that first to cover up all that rust to kind of kill it and keep it from growing and all that stuff, right? So we'll do that and see what it looks like and just kind of go from there, right? We're going to have to do some filling in and all that anyway. So, well, we'll just see what it looks like. And welding it on. It doesn't have to be fully welded all the way around. It just needs some really good tacks like what we see in there. You'd probably do better than me, but I penetrated good into the weld nut, and we see the bluing on the back, so we know that we penetrated into the metal base without burning through. So that's pretty good. So yeah, I like it. And hopefully it's lined up good. We'll find out whenever I go to put the fender on. Yeah. All right, made a mess, done a bunch of things, not just that, but cleaning the brush a little bit. This is a second cleaning. This is lacquer thinner that I'm cleaning that Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus up with. You're gonna get it all over you. I mean, I wore gloves and long sleeves. Yeah, makes a mess. So I did get that riveted in. Let's go take a peek over here. Outside, it's Droopy McDougal's in there right now. It is patched on pretty much the way we saw it. What I am going to do is do that rust reform and seal from Rust-Oleum. I'll get that hose down in there and catch all the spots where I just couldn't get with the brush, right? So, without getting dripped on, there we are. It didn't get everywhere, but like I said, I'm going to spray that. Then I can kind of come in and do a final... do a little bit of final work on this, get that up in there, do some final rivets in there, and then once it seals up real good, I'll go ahead and do the kitty hair as my finisher and seal it all up. All right. Oh, one other thing. I'm going to top it off with, when I'm finally done, spray the Flood Film Black on the inside of it, so that gives me a complete coating and coverage on everything, right? Okay, getting ready to do the kitty hair. I have this out. I have some gloves, screwdriver to pry the lid open. It's going to need to be stirred, so I had these coffee stir sticks from Amazon laying around, and I think one of these would be perfect for stirring that up and getting it jammed in all those cracks, right? Unfortunately, we had a blowout on our stuff when I was kneading it, so this is going to get messy right here. I'm just going to fill this up. It's going to be a two-hand messy thing, so I'm really not. I'd have to have an extra person to record this. So I got everything scuffed, ready to go. I'm just going to show you what it looks like, the ugliness of what it looks like whenever I'm done with that, right? I mean, it's just mixing this stuff together. There's nothing magic about it or anything. We're just going to mix it together and stuff it in there, right? Now, I've had this can for years, so doesn't surprise me that the last little bit is not any good. So, I mean, that works. Whatever. I anticipated this failure mode, and I have an unopened can of Bondo hair. Same thing. It depends on what brand you get. Some of them actually says kitty hair. It's, yeah, whatever. So, I'm going to use this one once I get smarter than the lid and can open it and then get all messy and everything. All right, there it is. Now this stuff looks like, feels like, smells exactly like the other one over here. I'm going to say they're the same thing. They're just, what print do you want on the can? Okay, let's go see it's drying. Oh, there's my other flashlight. My other battery-operated flashlight's dying. So, we're kind of sealed it up a little bit. I can come over it a little more. I could not get it to jam up in there for nothing, that crack right there. We're in, sort of, kind of, but we're sealed up a little bit. We can go over this again if need be. I would seam sealer that in there if I was really that concerned with it, but that's a way for water to leak out, you know. But anyways, I got to let this cure up, and then I can sand this and go through and do my internal frame coating stuff. Well, the Rust-Oleum Reform and Seal is what I'm using. I'm going to be putting that all on there and getting that sealed up real good. I didn't tell you this, but the inside of that metal piece I put on there, I did do the Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus. I brushed it on there first, didn't put it on. So we should be decently sealed for what this is, you know. It's not going to be a northern truck or anything. So, doing the best that I can with what I got. But we'll get it all sealed up. That spraying it on there is really going to help that out. That'll fill any of the extra stuffs out that I missed right there, but that's going to be for another day because I want this to fully cure. So onward to putting this together. Yeah, with my 3D printed, oh wait, I need to buy bolts for that. But yeah, did a little video on a little 3D printed Hoo-Yah thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling stuff. I got parts for the engine I'll start throwing on there and everything else. And voila, we are done. Coated. A little drain grommet thing is in there. Stuff in there, sprayed it. Oh, missed a spot. Of course, I'm gonna have a spot that I missed whenever I turn the camera on, right? But we'll hit it when we do the rest of it because we still got that whole, oh my goodness, brain fart. You give me about 10 minutes and I'll figure, as soon as I turn the camera off, I'll figure out what it's called. I don't know. I can't remember what it is. This piece right here, it's after work and I'm brain dead. So anyways, yep, when we put that other piece in there, then we'll get it all finished up and everything. And that's that. That's how I did it anyway.